Right, what's up, Dragon Brood? We're hopping into some more 5-minute deck tech. Today, we're going to be talking about an aggro version of dinosaurs, and I think I'm going to do a ramp version later. But don't forget to subscribe, like this video to make sure that you see all these others. I'm trying to put up like 10 in the next 2 days, so y'all have a lot of decks to start with going into the new standard format. So let's get into it. Okay, this deck is going to start with Ixalan's Lore Keeper. This is going to be a way to actually ramp out your dinosaurs. This is cool because we rarely get 1-mana 1/1s that actually tap for mana. Now, admittedly, you can only use this mana for dinosaurs, but that's okay because the deck's going to be mostly creatures regardless. However, as I say that, the other 1-mana spell we're going to be playing in the deck is Triumphant Chomp. Now, be aware that this does not hit planeswalkers and this does not hit your opponents, but this does deal damage to creatures. It's going to deal 2 damage plus whatever the largest power of your dinosaurs is, which is usually going to be 4+. So you can kill almost anything for 1 mana, which is super nice. And that brings us into our 2-mana things with its Belligerent Yearling. The crazy thing about this card is that we have so much stuff that is going to be 4, 5, 6 power. So this is going to copy the power of whatever dinosaur comes into play. It is small, so it can die to most removal as a 3/2. But if it survives a turn, not only does it get that power, it also has trample. We're also going to be playing a few mana creatures in this list. This list is going to have 2 Bramble Familiar and 2 Intrepid Paleontologists. This is just to give extra ramp value, but we're switching it up a little bit so that we can get multiple colors out of the Paleontologist, but then also late game being able to remove a dinosaur and be able to play it out of the graveyard to give us more value. Now, we don't have a ton of spells, so playing something like Ixalan, I think is believe how we say that, is actually really good because when another dinosaur comes into play, you can pay 2 mana, and then that'll allow you to actually fight something. So that's another way we can get things out of the way, especially since we're likely to have the largest creatures on the battlefield. Moving into our next pile of cards, we are going to be playing Pugnacious Hammerskull. This is the silliest 3-mana 6/6. It's so big. It doesn't have trample or anything, so you got to keep that in mind. But this is a really big body. And remember, if you play this after the Yearling gets to attack for 6 on turn 3. So there's going to be a lot of silliness going on here if you can get these right. We're obviously playing a full set of those. This list is going to have 3 Scytheclaw Raptor, and this just keeps your opponent from playing stuff on your turn. So if they want to kill something, or if they even wanted to try to use like a Wandering Emperor or whatever, they kind of have to do it on your turn, and they're going to come with a pretty hefty price of 4 damage. And we love that. Now, admittedly, it says when a player casts a spell, so it could hit you too, but we don't have that many spells, so it's probably not going to matter all that much for us. Another interesting card is Hulking Raptor, and I will say that being a 5/3 is a little disappointing. It'd be a lot better if it was a 5/4, maybe even a 5/5. That'd be asking for a lot, though. It already has Ward 2, and then at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you add another 2 green. Now, this is big because it means you can go from turn 4, add that 2 mana at 6, and then if you play another land, you have 7 mana already on the next turn, which allows you to play damn near anything you want to. This card, very good. Again, toughness is small, so it can be blocked by a lot of things and can't block that many things, but that's kind of okay if your opponent's having to deal with your other huge stuff as well. And then we're going to play some Bone Horde Dracosaur. This card's actually super good. We're going to play 3 of these, mostly because, well, there's a few reasons. The biggest thing is that it is just a 5/5 first striker with flying, right? In and of itself, it's cool, but we don't have a ton of ways to draw cards in this list, and this is one way we can actually get access to more cards. Not to mention more bodies, and if we've just been aggressive and your opponents had to deal with like your Hammerskull, your Scytheclaw Raptor, eventually this is going to stick. If it does, it just has to survive 1 turn for you to start getting value. As much as people want to say, yeah, it's 5 mana, it doesn't do anything when it comes in the battlefield, like, yeah, I agree, but the reality is, it's still really big, and it has so much upside, it's worth doing. Now, another card we're going to look at, which is really cool here, is Trumpeting Carnosaur. This is a 6-mana 7/6 with trample. That sounds like a lot, but you also get to discover 5. And that means there's another reason those Dracosaurs are in here. We wanted something good at 5 mana to hit. Now, admittedly, we have a bunch of small things. You might accidentally hit like a mana creature, but this gamble is so worth it. Even if you just get one of your 4 mana things and get another 5-power creature, that's a lot of value regardless. The other upside to this card is it does give us a little bit of extra removal. You can just discard this, pay 3 mana, deal 3 to target creature or planeswalker. Again, this does not hit an opponent, but it gets rid of a creature or a planeswalker, which is probably going to be good enough. And then we're going to round everything out by playing a Tali Primal Conqueror. Because we have the mana creatures, because we have Hulking Raptor, like, I think we can get away with playing 2 of these in this list and be totally fine. And we're kind of happy with most of our hits. Even our 2-mana stuff isn't terrible outside of our mana creatures. So this is actually a pretty great all-around card, and of course you still get 1 thing from your opponent. And if nothing else, we'll have mana left over. We can just flip it over and use the backside. The lands, we're not doing anything too surprising, except we're trying 1 Dranith Ruins. I don't know why it chose this version to show you, but this is actually allowing us to put extra counters on some things, so that can help some of those like small toughness issues. And we're going to be playing the new Restless Ridgeline, which gives us a creature land that we can fight with as well. So if our stuff does get swept or sunfalled or whatever, we still have things we can go fight with. So overall, I think this is a really good version. If you're a Gruul fan, if you're a dinosaur fan, I think this can really check a lot of boxes for you. There we go. I think we covered that whole deck list in 5 minutes. So if you want to keep up with all these others, we're going to probably put it about 10 lists. Remember to like, subscribe. Also, if you like this sweet shirt, it's down in the merchandise link. Check that out. Otherwise, yeah, have fun. I'll catch you in the next one.